WTS Channel 27 Sports. I'm Kurt Gukso, joined by Joe Mundy this evening. The Wildcats of Jasper and the Southridge Raiders get together like they always do, but this time it's the second ball game of the season. The Raiders come in at 0-1 after losing to Paoli 13-12 last week. And Joe, it was a tight game, and the Raiders kind of let it slip away at the end.
You know, the Raiders came out and played a good first three and a half quarters. Just did let it get away at the end, but they've got a lot of good things to build on for this week. You know, unfortunately, coming into a Jasper game that, you know, we're going to be the big underdog here. But we've got something to prove, I think. The kids need to come out, just play hard, let the chips fall where they may.
The Wildcats come in after a thrilling 36-35 overtime win over Evansville Memorial. They completed a two-point conversion pass to end that ball game as the Cats beat the Tigers. And looks like the Wildcats have their same old attack going. They'll run that toss sweep. And also they did a nice job at the end of that ball game. And Coach Burr said there's a 50-50 chance of getting that play right. Sometimes we have, sometimes we haven't. But they did it the other night.
You know, that Jasper just reloads every year. You know, they come back. There's no surprises. You know what they're pretty well going to run. They're going to stick with their basic toss sweeps most of the night. They're going to come right at you. You've got to stop that play. If you can't stop that play, you're in for a long evening. But, you know, everybody kind of talked preseason that Jasper might struggle a little bit early, replacing Matt Malk at quarterback, Braden Ernie at tailback. They just come back at you. They found some good kids to run the offense, and they're back again.
The Wildcats and Raiders here at Alumni Stadium. Once again, a great night for football, like all football nights are. Joe and I will have the opening kickoff from Alumni after this.
Indiana's leading truck tire dealer is
Joe Mundy back at Alumni Stadium as the fans start to settle in here, and the captains meet at midfield at the 50-yard line to talk about the coin toss. And Joe, should be a good ball game tonight. Two close teams meet here in a ball game in which they've had some good games down through the years. In recent years, it's been a little lopsided, but you never know when you put on the pads, and that's why they tee it up every Friday.
And if you go back, you probably looked at a lot of times in that first half, the game's fairly close yet at halftime, and whether we usually wear down the second half, Jasper takes control, whatever the case might be. But you know, it's going to be a hard-fought ball game on both sides of the ball. This is a pride game. It's a county rivalry. This is the game you remember. This is the game you get ready for all summer long when you're in the weight room, when you're working out, trying to prepare for the season. So this year it came in the second game of the season instead of the first. So, you know, look for the Raiders to come out probably emotionally sky high, ready to play. If they can get something going early and try and make it a ball game, we do get the ball first here. So Jasper won the toss deferred. They're going to put their defense out in the field and try and stop us quick.
The Raiders will be without the services of Travis Smith, as you heard in the pregame show. He is definitely out for the ball game this evening, so he will not play, as Kurt Kaczynski will get the bulk of the work in the offensive backfield in place of Travis Smith. The Raiders will be receiving here on the opening kickoff here from Alumni Stadium, and the football game is getting ready to start. The Raiders and Wildcats here from Alumni. The opening kick is driven deep into the air, and going back to field it is Kaczynski, and he will be caught in the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line to start this ball game.
Excellent kick, drove him all the way back into the goal line and beyond, so the Raiders will start on their own 20.
Mitch Stetter, 6'2", 150, and a junior, starts at quarterback. He was 6 of 16 through the air for 77 yards. He was picked off one time. Andy Doherty joins him at the fullback spot, 5'8", 185, and a sophomore. He rushed 7 times for 26 yards. Kaczynski and Darren Schilling split off to the near side, which is the right side. Ring and Doherty in the backfield with Pond, the tight end, right side, and we've got a flag on the football field right now.
Line judge call it. Probably going to be an offside against somebody.
It's against the Wildcats, it looks like. And the ball will be pushed to the 25-yard line.
Well, that's 5 the quick way.
Offsides against the Cats, as Joe Mundy mentioned. 1st and 5. Stetter once again sets up in the same alignment with Pond, the tight end, to the left side. A deuce backfield. They're split. Mitch, short drop, throws a little screen pass to Kaczynski. He carries the football across the 30 to the 35-yard line. Mitch reared up and threw it right out to probably his best outside threat, and Kurt Kaczynski.
Good toss. He had good throw. Had 2 receivers split wide right. Basically 1 defender. Mitch just stepped back. Basically a 1 or 2 step drop. Rifled it out to the right side. Good play.
just underway. The Raiders come back up to the line of scrimmage, and they go with that same alignment with Schilling and Kaczynski off to the right side. Punt flips to the tight end left. Mitch, quick pitch to Shane Ring left side. He will try to get the corner, gets to the line of scrimmage, and is driven out of bounds or close to it on the far sideline. The Wildcat defense did a nice job of stringing him out, and a flag on the football field.
Looked like a good play. The Raiders got outside. Looked like Shane might be able to turn the corner, just never could quite get there. Looks like it's going to be against the Raiders.
There was a lot of talk about Jasper's defense last week against Memorial, and in all honesty, Memorial had a pretty good offense. The defense kind of took a beating, whether it was deserving or not. They gave up 35 points, but Memorial was pretty decent.
Yeah, not having seen Jasper yet this year, everything I've heard and read tells me that the heart and soul of Jasper's team is their offensive and defensive line. So, that's something the Raiders are going to have to contend with all night long. Hopefully, they're not going to be able to wear us down with their size and just keep leaning on us and pounding on us. But, Raiders had, good play there, gained about 4 or 5 yards, going to be negated with a 15-yard clipping call.
Clipping against Southridge. It'll move the ball back to the 23-yard line, it looks like, and the Raiders going back and forth here in the opening possession. They've operated with a first down for the last 4 or 5 plays. They put the ball on the 23-yard line. The junior quarterback Stetter brings his team to the line of scrimmage. This time a double tight end formation with the T backfield. Stetter under center. Takes the snap. Will give it to the last guy through, and it's Kurt Kaczynski out to the 30-yard line before he's upended. Led the first couple of backs up through the holes, doing some blocking there.
That's one of the Raiders' favorite play. They fake to the dive man, Shane Ring normally in most cases, or Doherty, and they brought it right back to Kurt Kaczynski on that. Got a good 7-yard gain.
2nd and 15 for the Raiders. Ball just outside the 29-yard line. Stetter with a double tight end formation. Takes the snap. Will go to Andy Doherty left side, and he is snowed under. Matt McComish, among others, in on the stop for the Wildcats, and they read that play as well.
Not a lot there. No, not much running room. Raiders going to be forced into about a 3rd and 14 here. Look for the Raiders possibly to go to the tight end here. They tried that little dump pass right across the line of scrimmage a number of times against Paoli. Whether that's indicative of a favorite play coming up here, I don't know, but probably have to go to the air unless they just play it safe and planning on punt the ball.
3rd and 14 at the 31. The Raiders on their first offensive drive of the night. They split twins to the left side, tight end Schilling to the right, and Stetter backs his receivers off the line of scrimmage to the left side. Deuce backfield, Mitch back to throw. He will drop back. The lefty steps up into the pocket, flush to the right side. He's in trouble. Evades one tackler and falls to the ground. Not much there, as the Wildcats had people in the offensive backfield as Mark Crodel got in there and saw that pass coming.
Mitch did the right thing. They tried to roll him out to the left side, give him time to operate. You had Brad put in the slot left. Couldn't find anything, just tucked it and ran. Gain of 1. Raiders going to be forced into a punting situation.
Joe Kress, a speedster back deep, and probably the heart and soul of the Wildcat football team, and Heath Uppenkamp back deep at about the 42-yard line. The snap is a good one. Siddons will put a foot into it and drive the punt way over the head of the Wildcat safeties. Uppenkamp will let it bounce, and finally it will come to rest at the 15-yard line, and that's where Brad Eckerly, the 6'1", 176-pound senior, will go to work. 7 of 18 through the air for 148 and 3 touchdowns last week. Nathan Small, 111 yards, and his fullback Matt McComish with Uppenkamp at tight end. Joe Kress and Jimmy Corbin will play in the split end spots for the Wildcats as well.
That was a great punt by Heath Siddons. Got a good spiral on the ball. The ball flew over the receiver's head. Raiders got it down to the 15-yard line, forcing Jasper to go long here, the full length of the field.
Danny Mitchell is the tight end in the double tight end alignment. Corbin splits off to the right side. The traditional I for the Wildcats. Eckerly at the line of scrimmage with McComish and Small in the backfield. Here's the snap. They will go isolation play to Small left side. He squirts across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. As we talk with Coach Hanner, nothing fancy. They will line up in that I and run the isolation play, also the trap play, and give it to the fullback every once in a while.
Well, this has been the heart and soul of Jasper offense for ever since Coach Brewer's been here. He's going to exploit that play until you stop it, and it's here. Here it is. Come and stop us if you can.
It's a 2nd down for the Wildcats. Eckerly with the double tight end. Mitchell to the near side. Quarterback sneak right up the middle for Eckerly. He gets across the 25 and close to the first down chains. Looks like he might have got it. 8:32 to go, opening quarter. The Raiders defensively gave up 148 yards to Paoli, but it seemed like they got him when they needed him at the end.
Defensive alignment there. Southridge had single coverage out there wide right with the freshman on number 82 out there, so they look for Jasper possibly to exploit that later.
The Wildcats are very good in the skill positions in the receiving and tight end core with Corbin, Kress, and Uppenkamp. Eckerly, quick pitch, left side is Small. He picks a running lane, tries to get to the outside, now cuts it back up the middle. He's got hefty yardage out near the 40-yard line. You look at Nathan Small, he's an opposite of a Braden Ernie type or different runners that they've had in the past. Small is a pretty big kid, a very strong kid.
Did a real good job following his blocks there, getting that extra yardage, 11-yard gain. The toss sweep there is, very, very effective. The quarterback makes that pitch. He, too, then gets out front and picks up a block. So you get that extra blocker out front, things can happen.
They take the fullback and kick out that end. The linebacker is blocked in by the quarterback, it looks like. So the Cats now with a slot to the near side. That's Jimmy Corbin. And they still go with the two tight end alignment with the eye in the backfield behind Eckerly. Eckerly will take the snap, trap play up the middle to McComish. He gets spun around, football loose in the field, but after Matt hit the ground with it.
Hit him right at the line of scrimmage. He spun forward maybe for a gain of 2, if you want to call it 2, to the 39-yard line.
7:36 to go in the opening quarter, and if both teams stick to their game plan of keeping the ball on the ground like usual, this ball game may be over by 8:30. No score here in the first quarter. The Cats now with a double tight end, a slot now to the right side on the flip. McComish a couple of yards behind Eckerly in the backfield. The senior under center. Takes the snap. Quick pitch, too small. He tries to pick a hole, gets to the outside. A couple of Raiders trail Small, and he gets out of bounds at the 49-yard line as Shane Ring and also Kurt Kaczynski have to come up, and the Wildcats are getting those tailbacks into the secondary, and that's not good.
Nathan Small's had 3 carries of 7, 11, and 10 yards. Those you cannot allow that, but when they bring everybody, it's like the old Southern Cal, student body left, student body right. They just keep coming at you, and you just got to throw your body in there and try and break up that wedge.
I can't believe you mentioned Southern Cal.
Sorry, Notre Dame habits die hard.
Off to the right side goes the receiver. And the double tight end formation for Eckerly once again at the midfield stripe. Gives it to Small, right side. He spins off a couple of tacklers and gets out to the 46 of Southridge. Wildcats pounding away. Speaking of Notre Dame football, Joe's very happy. The opening game next Saturday at the new Notre Dame Stadium as the Ramblin' Wreck of Georgia Tech come in under George O'Leary and Bob Davies' debut. And we'll hear from Coach Davey at halftime about the Irish, both on the offensive and defensive side of the ball.
I will be making that trip.
That'll be outstanding. Ball at the 46, 2nd and 5. Slot to the right side. That's Jimmy Corbin, eye in the backfield. Here's the snap. They give it to Small. Left side, breaks the tackle once again and squirts to the 41. Small has a night's work already in so far in the first possession for Coach Brewer and the Wildcats.
What I like about that I formation, you give the ball to the tailback deep in the backfield. He has a chance to look for those holes, read his blocks, make good cuts. Nathan Small's making good cuts right now. He's reading his run blockers. Jasper's, the entire drive thus far has been on the ground. Do you think Coach Brewer put it up in the air? This has been successful. You never know.
Once again, Eckerly calls the play at the line of scrimmage. Corbin off to the right side. Eckerly takes the snap. Left side is Small. He's out in the open. Turns the corner. Nathan Small could be gone. 20, 10, 5 touchdown Wildcats on a Nathan Small 41-yard run. And he turned the corner, then used some speed.
Once he got outside contained, he was gone. There was no Raider defender that was going to catch him. Tried to take some pursuit angles and cut him off right at the goal line. Somebody got contact with him right about the 2-yard line, but he drove it on into the end zone.
So a first quarter touchdown for Nathan Small, and the Wildcats bring the kicking unit on to the football field. Jason Craig, a sophomore, will be on to do the extra point kicking out of the hold of Brad Eckerly. So a nice run by Small puts the Cats up 6-zip. Craig on for the extra point. Eckerly puts the hold down. The kick is up. And the kick is good, and the Wildcats lead 7-0. Joe and myself will be back to Alumni after this. Monday back at Alumni, the Wildcats strike quickly on an 8-play drive capped off by a 41-yard sprint by Nathan Small. The kick was good, and now the Wildcats will kick off as Brad Weil on to kick it off. Here's the kick. It's a shorter kick this time. Fielded by one of the Raider up men, and it's Harbison carrying the football out to the 31-yard line. And once again, the Raiders will go to work here.
Raiders need to get a sustained drive going here. Get a couple first downs, try and keep the ball away from Jasper. The one thing you desperately do not need to do here is go 3 and out and turn it right back over to a very potent Jasper offense, at least on that first drive. Nathan Small carries it 6 of the 8 plays and gains 79 yards.
The Wildcats did give up 325 yards of rushing to Ralph Weinzappel Memorial last week, so Raiders trying to pound some out. They've got the deuce backfield, double tight end, and a receiver off to the left side. Mitch under center will take the snap. We'll give it off to Andy Doherty. He spins off one tackler, and he's finally met by Mark Crodel. A short gain that time by the Raider fullback, Andy Doherty.
Didn't have a lot of room to operate. Pretty well going to stop him for no gain on the play. Jasper did a good job snuffing that one out from the very get-go.
Cats lead 7-0 with 5:18 to go here in the opening quarter. Little wind kicking up through Alumni Stadium here in this first part of the ball game. Schilling left side, punt to the right side. Mitch will quick pitch to Kaczynski. He'll try to go to the right side, evade a tackler, and get all the way out to the 37-yard line. Good run by Kaczynski, 5 or 6 on that one. And Kaczynski adds a little quickness into that backfield, much like Travis Smith does.
Got him to the outside, did a good job reading the block. The pursuit from Jasper was coming from the backside. Got one good kick-out block. He looked to kick it in. He looked to turn it back inside. Gained a quick 6 to 7 yards.
3rd and 3 for the Raiders at the 38 of Southridge. They line them up behind Stetter in a row. Mitch takes a snap. Andy Doherty, right side, and he is met at the line of scrimmage and driven back.
There again, not a lot of room for Andy Doherty. Once Jasper stood him up in the hole, I couldn't get the number on Jasper's play, but they tried to rip that ball away from him to get the turnover. Raiders going to be 4th and about a long 2. Do you line up in the punt formation, or are you going to go for it this early in the game? Looks like the Raiders are going.
Uppenkamp will drop back into punt and receive, and now he's being told by Tony Aarons and Joe Rolleder to move up a little bit as the Raiders come to the football at the 39.
May try and go on a long count to draw them off sides.
4th and 2. Mitch at the line of scrimmage. Receivers to the left and right. Here's the play. They give it up the middle to Shane Ring, and he's got the first down. He bowled through the line to get that first down.
He hit the hole with some authority, got about 6 yards on the play, about 2 yards extra than he needed, but that was a good quick hitter.
Brian Woolridge in on the stop for the Wildcats. First down, Raiders at the 43. Raiders come up on the football. Kaczynski splits off to the left side, a receiver. Darren Schilling to the right, punt the tight end left side. Mitch will roll out to the left. Mitch drops back, will fire it onto the sideline. Ball caught by Kaczynski over there on the far sideline. Did he have his foot down? And let's see where they mark it. Near the midfield stripe. Jimmy Corbin up there to make the stop.
Kurt went up, did a good job going up after the ball, about an 8-yard gain.
Looked like the play made on the near side against Paoli there in the 4th quarter of that game to try to bring the Raiders back. Mitch just laid it out there. Mitch that time rolling out to his left, making the nice play with the receivers coming at him.
It's more of a natural motion for him. He's a left-hander. He's rolling left. It gives him a better look at it.
T in the backfield, 1st and 10 Raiders. Mitch, little belly series. They go with Shane Ring, left side. He squirts to the 45. The Raiders getting 4 or 5 at a time, and if you ask Coach Hanner, that's the kind of offense he prefers, because if you get 3 or 4 at a time, you're going to be in business every time on a 3rd and short situation or a 4th and short situation.
And that's what he wants. He just wants to move the chains. He's not looking to go deep on his pass routes. If he goes pass patterns of more than 10 to 15 yards, that's a long pass. We got to stay with the short pass, ball control offense, and just keep the chains moving and keep the clock moving.
Wildcats on defense. Mitch, couple of play action passes. Mitch steps up in the pocket. He's got a heavy rush. He's hit and brought down by the Wildcats. Josh Peter snowed him under. Also in on the stop, Zach Dawkins. And they brought a couple of guys up the middle, and that's what Coach Hanner alluded to, that the Wildcats blitz package is picked up in the first couple of games.
Yeah, Mitch faked the ball, the handoff, drop back, looking to throw to the right side. Really couldn't find anybody open. Credit to Jasper secondary. Tried to tuck it and ran, lost 4 yards.
2nd and 13, they go with the trips left side, one back behind Stetter. Mitch retreats back, will fire it right away into the flat ball. Incomplete, hit off Shane Ring's hand over there. And the Raiders had a chance to move up the field there with that pitch and catch because it looked like the Wildcat DBs were moving back, and they forgot one very important thing, the football.
Catch the football. Shane was open. Mitch may have been rushed just a little bit to get the ball out there. Shane may not have been quite ready to receive the ball, but the front two receivers, kind of ran a clear out, and Shane just kind of floated out to the left. So, the Raiders may come back with that play. He was open, just couldn't quite hang on.
Now a 3rd and 13 from the Jasper 49, so the Raiders are in Wildcat territory. Shane Ring splits off to the right side, Kurt Kaczynski left, and once again Andy Doherty, the lone running back behind Mitch. Stetter looks over the defense, gets the ball from center, short drop, throws it across the middle. Kaczynski, he evades a couple of tacklers. He's down to the 27-yard line. Good pitch and catch by Stetter and Kaczynski. And Coach Hanner more and more is liking him as an outside threat because usually they go with the double tight end and really don't split anybody out in the last couple of years. But Kaczynski can find a way to get open.
Just basically a simple slant. He came to the inside. Got inside the defender, got about a 22, 23-yard gain, first down for the Raiders.
Raiders got the ball on the 27, 1st and 10. Long count for Mitch. Mitch pitches to the right side. Kaczynski will try to turn the corner, but Luke Werner's right there. He and Woolridge there to have some interference on Kaczynski's run attempt.
Didn't give him a gain of about 2 on that play. It's kind of a late developer. You could see it coming. There was one defender out there. We tried to get a kick out. Couldn't quite get him kicked out. He did a good job playing off the block to bring down Kaczynski for a short 2-3-yard gain.
7-0 Wildcats with a $1:12 to go here in the opening quarter here on WBDC Sports. Kaczynski and Schilling, the receivers, split to the left and right. Split backfield. Mitch rolls out left, whips it out on the far sideline. Fight for the ball. It's loose in the field. Incomplete is Corbin. Also Luke Werner and a couple of others battled Kaczynski for the football. Mitch kind of just floated it up there.
Somebody came in. Mitch kind of hobbled a little bit, but he's up. Looks like he's okay. Looked like there was a blitz on the inside. Got to Mitch. He just kind of floated that ball up. That was one that was luckily not picked off. It looked like we had a kind of a jump ball situation there. Both a Southridge and a Jasper defender both were on it, and the ball came out.
Once again, a long situation, Joe. 3rd and 7. Once again, 2 receivers split to the left and right. Raiders have 2 tight ends into the ball game. Mitch feels the blitz, throws a slant pass, and the ball is knocked away. Incomplete.
Jasper's starting to send a lot of people. They're blitzing hard. They're coming at Mitch, trying to get him rattled. They might want to think about going to a shotgun. I don't know if they've got that in the repertoire anywhere, but you might want to think about that and give Mitch a little more time to look over the defense. We're in a 4th and 6. Definitely going to go for it here. Possibly that little dump pass again to the tight end. If they stay tight, look for Brad Pund.
4 down territory with under a minute to play in the first quarter. Kaczynski off left. Keith Siddons into the ball game. He's off to the right side. Doherty, the lone running back behind the junior quarterback, the lefty Mitch Stetter. Here's the play. Stetter, short drop, throws it down the middle to Kaczynski. He's caught the football once again in traffic, and he's not making easy catches. He's always got a defender around him, and the Raiders have something going passing the football here.
About a 14-yard gain here. We've got 4. Mitch has got 4 out of 7 passing, all called by Kurt Kaczynski.
He's turned into the favorite target.
There's no doubt.
10.
I'm not too sure he wasn't looking for Brad Pund there coming off the line of scrimmage. They did a good job of shucking him, keeping Brad on the line of scrimmage, and Kurt broke free on the outside.
Raiders trying to get on the board. Here's the snap. They give it to Kaczynski. He tries to turn the corner right side, but brought down by the shirt by Brad Weil. With 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, the Raiders are driving. The Cats lead 7-0.
He got it down to about the 6-yard line, about a 4-yard gain. Raiders are threatening.
That may be the last play of the quarter because the play clock is 21 and the scoreboard clock is 17.
Probably just let the play clock, there you go, let it run out. Mitch, go over and talk to Coach Hanner, get the play you want. Let's make sure we know what we're doing here. We're 2nd down from about the 6-yard line, 2nd and goal.
The first quarter is complete here at Alumni Stadium. It's 7-0 Wildcats. Joe and myself will be back. You're listening to South Quarter down at Heritage Hills. It's the Marksmen trailing Heritage Hills 13-0. But here, Joe, the Wildcats lead 7-0 here at the start of the second quarter, and the Raiders on the march. They've got a 2nd and goal at the 6. As this drive has been very productive, especially through the air from Mitch Stetter to Kurt Kaczynski.
Raiders start on their own 31-yard line all the way down to the 6. We're 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line. Look for the Raiders, hopefully, to keep this drive alive and tie this game.
Raiders come to the line of scrimmage. Upon the tight end left, off to the right side is Schilling. Full house tee. Mitch will give it to Doherty. Doherty on a little slant play.
Fumble.
Ball loose in the field. It's into the end zone. Brad Pund falls on it. We've got a touchdown, Raiders. The ball was fumbled into the end zone by Andy Doherty. The ball squirted forward, and Brad Pund downfield blocking into the end zone. I think he was up at the square by the time the ball finally got to the end zone, and he just picked it up.
Brad Pund in the right place at the right time. You know, normally a tight end's going to get a touchdown via the pass, not by the fumble recovery in the end zone. So I don't know how I marked that one down here, Kurt, for yardage, but, you know, fortunate break for the Raiders. Brad Pund's in the right place at the right time.
Raiders will attempt now the kick as Shane Ring comes onto the football field. Doherty was at the 6, so I guess you give him the 5 yards or whatever it took until he coughed up the ball. That's a good scoring question. I haven't seen that in a while. But the Raiders get on the board at the 11:53 mark, just inside the second quarter. Ring on to kick. The kick is in the air. It's a line drive. It's up and it's good. And this ball game is tied at 7 after the Shane Ring kick. We will take this break here at Alumni Stadium. The score, Jasper 7, Southridge 7. We're back after this. Ball game up at 7 as Uppencamp, Nathan Small drop back, as well as Josh Peter for the Wildcats in the kick receive, and the Raiders get the football into the end zone on a fumble recovery by Brad Pund.
The Raiders sideline, they're fired up. The kids are excited. They're popping each other on the shoulder pads. The fans are up cheering. It's been a long time since Southridge has been tied with Jasper in the second quarter. This is good to see. The kids are excited.
I'm sure if you have fans on both sides of the field, they come for a football game every night, and each team wants to win, and each side of the fans want to win, but they're very entertained by what they've seen both sides tonight so far. And now the Cats will have a chance to retaliate. Short kick by Shane. It'll have to be fielded by one of the up men, and it is. It's Luke Warner. Slips down at the 36-yard line, and that's where the Cats will start their offensive drive here.
Whether that was by design or not, you know, you're kind of fearful of kicking it to their deep men so they can set up that wall of blockers. So, you know, they start Jasper on the 36, 37-yard line. Isn't too bad a position to give up.
The Cats will break their huddle and start at the 37 is where they mark it. Corbin the slot to the right side, double tight end. Mitchell left and Heath Uppencamp off to the right side. McComish behind Brad Eckerly. Eckerly pitch to Small. Small will try to go left side. Broke a tackle and gets out to the 41. Darren Schilling was into the backfield, but kind of lunged and made that dive, and you get nothing but grass and air if your head's down.
You know, if you're lucky enough to grab an ankle, you might catch him for, you know, a short gain, but once he gets by you, you're going to give up another 5 yards or so. But, you know, the Raider defense, you've got to make Jasper work for everything they get. You can't allow for him to break loose with the 41-yard touchdown runs. You've got to make Jasper work. You got to make him earn this, and so you can get back, because we're not going to be the big play team. We're going to be very methodical.
2nd and 5 now for the Wildcats at the 41 of Jasper. Eckerly under center. Gets the ball. He'll go right side on the pitch to Small, and they wrap him up after a very short gain. Tackle on the play by the Raiders. Lyle McCollum, one of the senior captains for the tackle.
Raiders got penetration into the backfield, kind of broke up their blocking scheme, caught him for about a 1-yard gain, so it's going to be about 3rd and long 4. Raider defense needs to stop here, hopefully get the ball back.
I don't think Eckerly has went up top yet tonight after the big game last week.
No, he hasn't. You know, you keep worrying about that. Looks like we got an equipment timeout here. Officials timeout.
And that's exactly what will take place. Join Southridge football coach Brad Henner and myself every Thursday night here on WBDC for Hoosier Retreads from the bench. We'll break down Southridge football in detail beginning at 6:30 on Thursday nights here on WBDC Sports. Got the Heritage Hills Tell City game and several other games around the area. Next week, the Raiders at home against Pike Central in a 7 o'clock start. Here's that 3rd and 4 play at the 43. Split backs, Uppencamp lines up near side as the tight end. He's a favorite target. Eckerly, bobbled snap, whistles blowing, flags flying.
The play was dead. It was a dead ball foul. The referees were blowing it dead from the very start, so it may have been a false start against Jasper.
I know Coach Hanner and Coach Rolleder and the defensive coaches on both sides of the football were alarmed by the big numbers put up by offenses last week. Coach Clayton as well in that 38-28 game against Boonville. The fans like to see that offense. It drives defensive coaches nuts.
Yeah, everybody comes to ball games, whatever sport it is, everybody wants to see them score. We were talking about earlier about a soccer game with 0-0, but everybody wants to see points. You want to see the scoreboard light up. That's the name of the game.
And now it was a penalty on the Wildcats. It's 3rd and 9 at the 38.
3rd and 4 situation, Jasper, that's not a passing situation for Jasper. 3rd and 9, all of a sudden now they may be looking to go up top here. We got single coverage over here on the far right with a freshman.
Up in camp, left side, Corbin to the right. Eckerly snaps his team down. Brad, short drop flag on the play. Lob pass down the near sideline. Corbin can't catch up with it on the bomb. And we've got a flag on the field, and it was thrown right away.
They went at Corey Minky. They went at the freshman, whether it was by design. If they were looking to test the freshman early, he got behind Corey, but the ball was definitely overthrown. We'll see what the penalty is.
Officials make the procedure call against the Wildcats. That will back them up again. Talking about Corbin up in camp, Joe Kress, the speedster. I've got to believe that's some of the most talent that they've had at the receiver spot in a long time.
Should have a decline the penalty here. 4th and 9. Jasper will punt.
Matt Cartwright will come onto the field to do the kicking. He's a sophomore quarterback. And the Cats will kick it over to the Raiders. And if you're Coach Winkler and Hanner, you got to like the situation where you score and then get the ball right back.
I'd almost play a straight defense. If he's the backup quarterback, you might try and throw somebody out to the flat here. Coach Brewer's been known to take chances before.
They drop Kaczynski back deep. Cartwright at the 25, gets a good snap, has plenty of time to kick the football, and line drives it and fielded by Mickey at the 45. He breaks down the clear. Corey is tripped up at the 35-yard line. That ball kind of surprised him, so I said, I might as well catch it before it hits me in the head.
Corey did a great job. Once he caught that ball, started going forward, kept his balance. If he could have broken out of there and kept his feet, he could have been gone.
I don't know why Matt didn't kick that ball right away. He had plenty of time, and he double clutched, if you would.
You don't know if he thought about throwing it, if he lost control of the ball for a second. Great break for the Raiders.
1st and 10 at the Jasper 35. The Raiders put together a long 8-play drive earlier. Here's a snap, belly series, option pitch to Kaczynski. He tries to cut it upfield, and he's hit and brought down near the line of scrimmage. I don't think he got very much.
Probably going to drop him for about a 1-yard loss. Jasper did a very good job. They were sitting on the pitch man. Looking back, would have been better served maybe to give it to the dive man, the fullback. But, the Raiders have got a great opportunity here right now. Look for the Raiders possibly to go back up top.
Cats doing a lot of both-way playing. Eckerly now up in camp into the lineup for the Wildcats. A couple of guys on offense, and that has not happened very much with the starting quarterback on defense. Split backfield, Mitch will play action, sets up, heavy rush from Weil, goes out to his left side, fires the football, and it's caught at the 23-yard line by Kaczynski, and he kept his feet in bounds, and a good play by Kaczynski. Mitch felt the heat on his backside. They try to get the offensive lineman to protect the quarterback's backside, Mitch being a lefty, so it's the right tackle or the right guard, and Weil was charging hard. Mitch got it away.
He was definitely coming hard. Mitch had no way of knowing where he was, but he had to be hearing footsteps. I'm glad to see him unload that ball, or he could have been tattooed.
1st and 10 at the 25. Kaczynski is doing the job receiving for the Raiders. Mitch takes the snap to Kaczynski, goes right side, cuts it back up the middle, and he's got running room across the 20 to the 19, about 6 on that play.
Kaczynski's been the workhorse tonight, both passing and running. Raiders going to be in about 2nd and 4 from the 19-yard line.
Ball at the 19. 7-7, 8:35 to go in the second. The Raiders once again on the march after the kick return or the punt return by Corey Minky in the line drive punt. Full house backfield, double tight end for Stetter. Here's the play. Up the right side of Doherty, slants it over the middle. He's across the 15, down to the 12.
The Raiders, just keep gaining confidence. They're get it down to about, call it the 11-yard line. But they're moving this football. This is a great confidence builder. If the Raiders could take this in and take a lead here, you never know.
Left side of that line, McCollum and John Ferber, along with up the middle, doing a nice job making some holes in the middle of that line. Also, for the Raiders, Craig Meyer, the center, does a nice job of starting that play. Receiver to the near side. Mitch will slant it up the middle to Shane Ring. It looks like he gets piled up after a short gain. Ball marched down near the 10-yard line.
You know, the pile just keeps moving forward. They're probably inside. They're down to about the 6-7 yard line, looks like.
7:39 to go until halftime. We'll pick it up with Notre Dame coach Bob Davie from Notre Dame Media Day a couple of weeks back to talk about the Irish season. 2nd and 6. Mitch with a full house backfield. Double tight end alignment, punt to the near side. Here's the play. Last guy through Kaczynski. Right side, goes up the right side, into the end zone. Touchdown Raiders on a Kurt Kaczynski. 6-yard run and the Raiders lead 13-7. Raider fans across the way going crazy.
Raider fans are going nuts. The Jasper fans, I think, are sitting stunned right now. Obviously, this game's a long way from over, but this is a great boost for the Southridge Raiders and the entire program. You know, this is a game a lot of people didn't give them much chance to win or be even competitive with, and they're coming out and taking it right to Jasper, not backing down, and showing that possibly they're a little bit better ball club than they showed last week.
That's the thing. They were very disappointed in that lackluster play at Paoli. Here's a snap on the extra point kick. The ring kick is up, and the ring kick is good. And we are in a 14-7 Raider lead. We will take this break here in the second quarter, come back to Alumni after this. If you will, the Alumni Stadium battlefield has been drawn. It's a 14-7 Southridge lead with 7:18 to go in the second quarter. Josh Peter back deep, Nathan Small and Joe Kress back deep to receive the Shane Ring kick. The Raiders did a nice job of putting together that drive, and as we talked about in the break, they're winning the line of scrimmage, Joe.
Right now, and that's a bit of a surprise to me. I really thought Jasper's strength was their linemen. Right now, we're taking it to them.
Another short kick, and this will go out of bounds. The Cats will either have to kick it over or get the ball at the 35.
I would think Jasper would just go ahead and take it on the 35-yard line. But
get your choice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good field position, although the way, you know, he wants to run back. He looks like he's going to make us line it up again.
They'll push the ball back, and Ring will have to re-kick.
You know, you got Nathan Small back here returning the ball. You know, you don't want to give it to him, obviously. So, you know, they're going to try and kick it short. They're trying to pin him on a sideline, it looks like. So, you know, I wouldn't expect anything to change here. They're going to try and die this ball right around the 30-yard line if you can.
They have to move it back 5 yards to the 35 now. 7:18 to go here in the first half. Southridge leads 14-7. The Cats got on the board first as Nathan Small ran 41 yards to pay dirt. Raiders came back. They recovered a fumble in the end zone after Doherty gained a couple of yards. Pun fell on it to tie it at 7 after the ring kick. And now Kaczynski added a 6-yard touchdown run, and the ring kick was good as well. 7:18 to go, 14-7, and Shane Ring will re-kick. And the same trio back deep for the Wildcats. And a slew of up man as well in case it's a short kick. Shane will put a foot into it, a little better kick, and the ball is fielded by Joe Kress, and he's a speedster. He takes it up the middle, spins away from one defender, gets after the 39, and that's where the Wildcats will start. So they get about a 5-yard gain on the kick return versus taking the ball on the 35.
You know, once you get that ball to your speedster, there's always that threat. He's just going to bust it long any time. Raider defenders did a good job holding him to about the 40-yard line.
This is great. The fans are out on the track along both sides here, and fans in the stands, and great night for football.
Well, as you said, that's what most teams want. They want to come to the field looking for a ball game. They don't want to see a blowout. It's just kind of they want to see a ball game. They're seeing one right now.
It's a great game so far. Up in camp, signaling to Eckerly. They may have a play on here with that single coverage. Eckerly will run the quarterback sneak up the middle, and he gets considerable yardage. Ball loose in the football field as players try to bounce on it. The officials still have not made an indication. They say second down. Eckerly has used the quarterback sneak a couple of times tonight.
You know, couldn't see just by the hooting and hollering, everybody diving there. The ball was free there.
Wildcats next week will be down on the road at Boonville. Raiders against Pike Central. Once again, single coverage out on up in camp here to the near side with Minky. Eckerly under center. Will drop back, a little play action. Brad steps up, fires a bomb down the right side for up in camp. Corey back, it's out of bounds. Good defense and a good route by up in camp. Eckerly hung it out there pretty well there.
Yeah, Corey may have gotten into him, but they were both already out of bounds, and the ball was not catchable, so there was no flag. But here again, you had second and short, second and 5. Have a chance to air it out there. Take a look, try, test out the freshman again. Corey's, he's a gutsy player. He's going to hold his own in there. He's going to battle.
Brad Eckerly threw that ball a long way. A lot of people, as you mentioned in the open, were worried about replacing Mock among others, but nobody's Matt Mock, but Eckerly will do a nice job. Eye in the backfield. Corbin splits to the near side. Up and camp the tight end. Long count by Eckerly. Pitch left side small. He squirts out once again across the 50 to about the 48-yard line and run that toss sweep.
Ooh, they're going to mark him just short of the 50. He's not going to have the first down. That doesn't look like a very good spot there.
Not at all. Ball short of the 50, and it's now 4th and 1 at the 49. A very short one.
Very short one. It's probably about half the length of the football, if that much, or length of the football.
Mike Seibert and Bernie Vogler over there with their sticks side by side.
I'd say quarterback sneak here, give it to the fullback.
Here's the play. Eckerly will have a botch play. He's loose in the backfield. He will be hit and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And the Wildcats blow a 4th and 1 situation at the 49-yard line. The Raiders will take over at the 46 of Jasper.
Yeah, that
didn't look right.
Yeah, something was not right there. Here again, you either go with your bread and butter play, the toss sweep, or the just hand off to Nathan Small, give it to the fullback, quarterback sneak in that situation. Let your lineman get you that first down.
Timeout on the field, 5:45 to go here in the second. We'll take this break. Joe and I will come back. Jasper trails Southridge 14. Yeah, a couple Cokes. I'll pay you back.
Coke's fine.
Snap to Mitch. They give it to Kurt Kaczynski, and he goes right side. He goes nowhere. As play resumed, the Raiders tried the right side on a Kurt Kaczynski run. As they took over 1st and 10, it did not go anywhere, and it's 2nd and 10 now.
Looked like Coach Roletter, he had the Jasper defense over on the sideline a while ago, challenging them to step up here and get a stop and get the ball back for Jasper.
Ball at the 48. Raiders lead 14-7. 5 minutes and change to go here in the first half. One back behind Stetter. Mitch, short drop to lefty, pop past the punt. He caught the football across the 40 to the 39. It's loose in the field. A mad scramble. He looked like he was down. The Wildcats lobby for it. And now the guys really go after it. And punt was ruled.
Nope. They're going to give it to him.
That was a close play. It looked like Punt's knee was down, but the Cats now take over. Mitch, once again, very efficient and made the completion.
That was a dump pass to the tight end that we saw last week up at Paola. Used about 4 or 5 times. For Brad Punt there again, there's a situation, the young man just trying to get the extra yardage and just trying to fight forward. And Jasper ripped the ball loose, or he got hit from behind. They punched the ball out. Bad break for the Raiders. Defense needs to come up right now and try and get the ball back or stop Jasper here with 5:03 to go in the half.
1st and 10 for the Cats. Corbin, the slot back. Eckerly gives it to Small. He busts it up on an ISO. Left side, gets it out to the 45 before he's hit with 4:55 to go.
That puts Nathan Small 10 carries up to about 95 yards here in the first half.
Cat tailbacks, as you well know, get the ball a lot. Quote another USC protege, John Robinson, says that ball's not heavy. They can carry it as many times as I want them to.
They're young.
2nd and 4 at the 45. Eye in the backfield. Slot to the near side. That's Jimmy Corbin. Here's a snap. Eckerly, Small, left side on the run. He gets it across the midfield stripe to the 49. And it's very close. I think he very much did get the first down, and they'll move the chains.
They're inside about the 48-yard line. Looks like they're just going to go right back to the tailback. They're going to give it to him on the ISO and just drive this thing down here. 4:11 to go in the half. There's plenty of time for Jasper. He can break one at any time. He's always that much of a threat. 2
receivers into the game. Uppenkamp will come off the football field, and Joe Kress will come in. He's in the slot to the near side. Corbin splits off to the right side as well. Eckerly, toss sweep. Left side is Small. He tries to pick his hole and does so across the 45 and a flag down.
It was thrown in the backfield. Normally in that situation, it's going to be a hold or a clip against the offense.
We've seen a lot of flags tonight, Joe, and you mentioned the hold. And last week, it was hardly a flag down the field, except when the play was not in action, as Coach Hanner mentioned.
Yeah.
Talked about, he said, I've been flagged plenty of times, but I don't know when. I can't remember whenever he's been flagged.
I can recall. I can recall a Pike Central game way back.
He loves us talking about that. We always bring it up every time there's some questionable officiating.
Some things just won't go away.
He was able to listen to the ball game up across on the hill. That Pike Central game. His
wondrous
third
evening.
game, yeah. That moves the football back to the 42. And the clock is at 3:38. Once again, Uppencamp checks back into the lineup. Corbin splits off to the left. Eye backfield. Eckerly, play action, hides the football, steps up in the pocket, wings it down the near side for Uppencamp. Made a great catch before he's knocked out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. As Kurt Kaczynski was on the defense, and Eckerly made a nice toss, and Uppencamp caught it right over his shoulder.
Called a 30-yard gain. He hung it up there. He got it outside, right down the sideline. Great catch.
And it's a 1st and 10 at the 29 with 3:23 to go. 14-7 Raiders on top here.
28 yards on the pass play. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the Raiders 29.
Two tight ends. Here's the play. Quarterback sneak for Eckerly. He's got some running room, but then Minky and Sins come up to close it off in a hurry at the 26-yard line. Looked like Eckerly may run for a while, but the Raider linebacking core and Corey up from the secondary made a nice play.
You wonder if that's not an audible, if he's just seeing something up the line of scrimmage and he's taking advantage of it, trying to get that 4 or 5 yards, thinking that we're looking for the toss sweep wide or a pass play.
4-yard pickup on the run.
Second down and 6 at the 25. 2:56 and counting here in the first half. Eckerly under center. Receiver Corbin to the left side. Eckerly, little option look, a sprint draw to Small. Tries left side, goes right back up the middle behind a blocker to the 20, it looks like.
You know, the clock keeps moving. 2.5 minutes to go. Jasper's on the 20. Definitely in scoring territory. Going to be faced with about a 3rd and 1. You may see the Raiders gamble on this. They may try and shoot a linebacker here, trying to cause some trouble in the backfield.
Mitchell, the tight end left. Uppencamp, the tight end right. Corbin splits off right side. Eye in the backfield. Eckerly, the snap, the give. Small, right side. He's wrapped up by Kaczynski and driven out of bounds. Or not out of bounds, I should say, but driven to the field. Kaczynski comes up to make the stop. Also, Brett Sandkamp as well.
4-yard gain takes him to about 113 yards on the evening on 13 carries. Clock here moving, minute 59.
Small got 28 carries last week for 111 yards and 2 scores.
He's well on his way.
He was an outstanding defensive end last year, and he gets the call on defense a lot this year, does Small. 16-yard line is where the ball is marked. 1st and 10. Wildcats, they're deep into Raider territory with a minute 40 to play here in the first half. Eckerly, the snap, rolls out to the left side, steps up, ball loose on the field after he tried to throw the ball as he was hit by Whitney Nykum. Incomplete pass. Heavy rush by Whitney. Nobody got him, and again, Eckerly's backside was not very well protected.
Yeah, incompletion stops the clock on the minute 34. Whitney did a good job. The blocker was forcing him out, slipped by him on the inside, and made a good contact play on Brad Eckerly to force the incompletion.
2nd and 10 now with a minute 34 to go. Corbin splits off to the left side. Mitchell and Uppencamp, the 2 tight ends. They like to throw to Corbin in this situation sometimes on a slant. Eckerly takes the snap, pitch left side. Small picks his hole, gets some good blocking, still on his feet, pounds down inside the 10-yard line. He's tough to stop in short yardage situation a lot of times, too.
Yeah, you're going to take it down to about the 6-yard line, call it a gain of 10.
14-7, the Raiders cling to a 7-point edge here.
Raiders call timeout.
Timeout on the football field. We'll do the same here at Alumni. It's Southridge 14, Jasper 7. We're back after this. Cue from Alumni Stadium. The Raiders and Wildcats hooked up in a 14-7 Southridge lead, but the Wildcats are knocking at the door here at the end of the first half. They have the ball first and goal at the 5-yard line. A timeout on the football field right now. And both teams going over strategy. The Cats on the near side. The Raiders go to the far side and play just about ready to resume.
We need to see that ball on the carpet here, Kurt. We need to see something happen here by the Raider defenders. Take a chance. They're on the 5-yard line. You got nothing to lose here by gambling, shooting some gaps, send a couple linebackers. Just gamble here a little bit.
Eckerly brings his team up to the line of scrimmage. Corbin, the slot to the right side with two tight ends. Eckerly, quick pitch, left side, small, right back up the middle. He dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats, and the Cats are within one. Small would not be denied.
He probably jumped from about the 4-yard line to get in the end zone. Good play, nothing fancy. The ISO toss sweep, call it what you will. It's been in Jasper's arsenal for a long, long time.
Now, Jason Craig back on. He is 1 of 1 in the extra point kicking category tonight. Out of the hold of Brad Eckerly. Here's a snap, a little low. Eckerly puts it down. Kick is up, and the kick is good. And we are deadlocked at 14 after the kick was good by Craig. We'll break, come back to Alumni Stadium, and close out the first half after this. Hey, Stadium, Kurt Kuchsell and Joe Mundy here on WBDC Sports. Brad Weil will tee the football up.
Our front 5 guys have got to be very careful that this is not an onside kick here. Jasper might take that chance.
Here's the kick in the air. Once again, a squib line drive fielded by Pund at the 30. Brings it out to the 35, and he's wrestled out of bounds near the Wildcat bench.
Brad did a good job. He had the ball in his right hand. He switched it to his outside hand on the left side just in case he took a hard pop. The ball's going to go out of bounds in that situation. That's just kind of an instinctive move. You don't think a whole lot about it. It's nice to see.
First and 10, Raiders with 1:15 to go. Ball at the 36-yard line of Southridge. Raiders come up to the line of scrimmage in the full house backfield. Mitch gives it left side to Doherty, tries to bring it up right over center, gets the ball exactly to the 40, a gain of about 3 on the play.
This is the Raiders are in their own end of the field. Not have to do anything fancy, keep the clock running, keep the ball on the ground. Even if we don't pick up a first down here, so long as Jasper doesn't call timeout, the clock's going to run out. You're going to go into halftime up, tied 14-all. In a game probably, to go in halftime tied with Jasper is a great feeling for the Raiders.
The Southridge Raiders now put Ring in the slot to the right side. Tight end right. 2 guys in the backfield behind Mitch. Andy Doherty tries to go right side, pick a hole, and he's strung out and knocked to the turf. Tackle made for the Wildcats by Woolridge,
called
among
out
others.
About the 44, called the 45-yard line. Going to be about a 3rd and a long 2 here. Raiders could just let the clock run out right here. Don't need to run another play if they don't want to. Looks like they're going to go ahead and call the play.
9 seconds to go and counting. 3rd and 2. Mitch under center. Might get it off, may not, does so. Will go to Kirk Kaczynski,
Fumble.
puts it on the football field. Mad scramble for the football, and it looks like the Wildcats have it, but no, the clock runs down in time. 14-14 at the halftime break. A good one here at Alumni Stadium as the Cats and Raiders retreat off to the locker room. We will come back with halftime here at Alumni Stadium right after this. Back at Alumni Stadium, we're tied at 14, looking at the first half scoring-wise and stat-wise. In the first half, the scoring got started in the first quarter with 5:46 to go as Nathan Small capped off an 8-play drive by going 41 yards for a touchdown. The Jason Craig kick was good. It was 7-0 Wildcats. The Raiders just inside the second quarter with 11:53 to go until halftime. Picked up a fumble in the end zone. Andy Doherty carried the ball for about 6 yards, coughed it up, but Brad Pund fell on it in the end zone. And after the Shane Ring kick, it was 7-7, and we were in for a ball game. Then, with 7:18 to go in the second quarter, Kurt Kaczynski rolled in from the 6-yard line for Southridge. It was 14-7 Raiders after the ring PAT kick. And then with 1:19 to go until halftime, the Wildcats evened up the ball game. They put together a good drive before the half, and Nathan Small once again got in. He carried the football on a 5-yard run as he dove into the end zone. The Craig kick was good, and we were evened up at 14-14 heading into the halftime break. Joe, you have a look at the numbers. Both teams looks like running up and down the football field trying to get in that end zone, and once again, both teams having success on the ground.
The Raiders are a little more diversified than Jasper. Jasper primarily on the ground. The Raiders going a little bit more in the air than Jasper. But the stat wars have been fairly even. The score indicative of the play in the first half. For Southridge, 20 rushes for 62 yards, led by Kurt Kaczynski with 8 carries for 31 yards. Andy Doherty, 7 carries for 20. Shane Ring, 3 carries for 14 yards. In the passing department, Mitch Stetter, a great 6 for 9 for 76 yards. 5 catches by Kurt Kaczynski for 68 of those yards, giving Southridge a total of 138 yards in the first half. For Jasper, led by Nathan Small on 15 carries, 129 yards. They had 20 rushes for 139 yards total, and Brad Eckerly 1 for 3 in the passing department for 30 yards, caught by Heath Uppenkamp on a great sideline pattern. So giving Jasper a total yardage of 169 yards in the first half. A great first half. Jasper starts off with the ball in the second half. Raider defense needs to step up, try and get this stop, not let Jasper reestablish dominance here and just take it down the field. Raider defense needs to step up.
The Raiders come back onto the field. The Wildcats are already out on the turf. We will come back and have second half action here from Alumni Stadium. It's 14-14 at the half. Joe and I back after this. We're back at Alumni Stadium, 14-14 as we get ready to go in the second half. As Joe Money alluded to before the break, the Wildcats will get the pigskin to start the second half. And the Raiders huddle up along the far sideline. The Wildcats retreat back into kick receive.
The emotion's going to be there on the Raiders sideline right now. We haven't been in this position in a long time against Jasper. You go into halftime dead even. They're going to be excited. They've got to remember right now to maintain their responsibilities on this kickoff. We do not want to allow Jasper to get a big return on us, to get something started right off the bat. We've got to make Jasper earn every yard they get, take this third quarter here, and try and make it a ball game.
Shane Ring will do the kicking. We are deadlocked at 14-14. Josh Peter, also Mark Crodel and Joe Kress back deep for the Wildcats to receive this kickoff. Cats will be going from left to right, from north to south here at Alumni Stadium. Ring will put a foot into it and drive this kick pretty well down to Kress. He brings it across the 20 to the 30 to the 35. Joe right up the middle, and he is snowed under. Gets it out to about the 33 or 34 when he's hit and brought down, and the Cats will go to work. Brad Eckerly, after throwing for 148 yards last week and 3 touchdown passes, has picked his spots through the air, had the nice strike to Uppenkamp.
Really don't expect any changes here from Jasper. They may throw the ball a little bit more, but look for him to reestablish that running game with Nathan Small. 129 yards in the first half. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. Look for him to come back. 1st
and 10 at the 34 for the Cats. Corbin splits wide right. Double tight in for Brad Eckerly as he snaps his team down. Eckerly, play action pass. Goes here to the right side, flat to Uppenkamp. He's got the football to the midfield stripe before he's knocked out of bounds into the Wildcat bench.
Yeah, here you talk about, coming back with your bread and butter, going back to the run, and it comes out first play from the second half and throws the ball. So good play call by the Jasper Wildcats.
Uppenkamp had a nice ball game last week. 3 catches for 60, including that all-important 2-point conversion.
Corbin basically ran it just a clear out, took Corey Minky, took him deep. They floated Uppenkamp back across the flat area for a good 17-yard gain.
First and 10 at the 49. The Wildcats 1 yard into Raider territory. Slot to the right side. Eckerly gives it on an isolation play to Small. He pounds up the middle and gets to the 44 of Southridge. Before he's dropped. Second down and 5. Gain of about 5. Cats come up to the line of scrimmage. We're tied at 14, just underway third quarter. Two tight ends. Corbin, the slot to the right side. Eckerly gets the snap. We'll give it to Small in a trap play. He breaks one arm tackle. He's out in the open. Small could be gone. He's at the 5, at the 10. Touchdown. Nathan Small on a 44-yard run, and he broke a tackle, an arm tackle, and that's being polite there because that was not a good effort there.
No, it wasn't. Somebody just made a reach for the football there, either whether they were trying to strip it away, couldn't really get a good look. They didn't get a shoulder pad in the young man. He busted out for a 44-yard touchdown run.
20-14 Wildcats, and Jason Craig on for the extra point with 10:57 to go here in the third.
I show Nathan Small now 17 carries for 179 yards.
Being the workhorse, the kick is up by Craig. It's a line drive, and it's good, and the Cats lead 21-14 here at the start of the third quarter. We'll break, come back to Alumni Stadium with more right after this. And the Wildcats will kick to Southridge. Brad Weil back to tee the football up as the Raiders drop back to field this kick. Weil booted one earlier into the end zone. This is a high kick, angles it off towards Kaczynski. He'll field it at the 10, bring it across the 20, goes right up the middle, gets after the 25-yard line, and that's where the Raiders will start their offensive drive here after the Wildcats punched one in to start the quarter.
Let's see what the Raider offense can do now. They got to come back, try and match Jasper. Here again, we're not going to bust the long ones, I don't think, like Jasper's going to. I just don't feel like we've got that breakaway speed right now. But, we've just got to be very methodical, as Coach Hanna loves to do. Pick up that 3 or 4 yards of carry, keep the clock moving, move the chains, and not give the ball back to that Jasper offense.
Raiders come up to the line of scrimmage. Ball at the 25. Schilling off to the right side. Two backs. Mitch will roll out to the right side. Set his feet, throw into the flat. See if he caught it or not. Joe Kress on the defense. Incomplete. They call a trap, and Brad Henner's right out there to talk about it with Darren Schilling.
Looked like a good throw. He was right out there. He got the ball, and he immediately went down. A couple Jasper defenders were right on top of him. We had a very bad angle on it, but Coach Hanna was right there. Of course, he was probably politicking a little bit to get the completed pass, but unfortunately for the Raiders, it's going to be second and long.
Raiders go up top on the first down play. Now they deal with a 2nd and 10, 10:44 to go in the third. The Cats lead 21-14. Kaczynski splits off right side. Darren Schilling slides into the slot right, split backfield. Mitch once again rolls right. Mitch throws across his body, fires it downfield, incomplete. Intended for Kaczynski is Uppenkamp. Luke Werner and Joe Kress provide the opposition defensively in the Wildcats secondary.
Possibly trying to come out, catch Jasper, looking for the run again. We come out, 2 straight passes, rolling Mitch to the right. Here again with the left-hand quarterback's a little bit tougher on Mitch. But the first pass was right there, just barely overthrew Kaczynski there. So, Raiders 3rd and 10, most definitely passing situation. Whether they look for the tight end, come back to Kurt Kaczynski, who's been his favorite target thus far.
3rd and 10. Ball at the 25. Raiders take the snap. Mitch will play action. Fire it down the far sideline. Incomplete. Flag on the football field.
Where he threw that, that's probably going to be a pass interference, although I'm afraid, I don't know if that pass was catchable. It was way overthrown, but the referee threw it very early in the pattern. It's going to be a pass interference.
Yeah, Heath Uppenkamp shaking his head, saying, why are we even contesting that, it seems like. And pass interference looks like will be the call on that 3rd down situation.
Big break for the Raiders. There again, the Raiders come out, 3 straight pass plays to open up the third quarter. we got away with it. We picked up the first down here thanks to the pass interference. Look for us to go back to the ground game here.
15-yard gain, ball marked at the 40 now. Legal use of the hands. Al Stetter once again double tight. Receiver to the near side, split backfield, Doherty. And Treadway now into the lineup. Quick pitch to Treadway. He'll try to go to the right side. The freshman tries to get the corner. Breaks out a little bit, gets a gain of 2, 3, 4 yards on the play before he's ripped out of bounds. They're in a quandary with him, trying to find exactly to bring him up full time or play him a little bit freshman JV ball. But there's a guy that will be into that backfield before you know it, especially if Smith continues to be hobbled.
He's got some speed. Jeremiah's got, I can't even call him Jeremiah. They call him Smurf. He's got that breakaway speed. He along with maybe a little bit quicker than some of the other Raider backs, but at least he's got fresh legs right now. Probably give him a chance to carry the ball a few more times here later on.
Here's a snap, ball at the 43. Mitch, option play, left side. Kaczynski's got a running lane. He's off to the 40, to the 35, to 30. Makes a juke move. He's down to the 20 before he's run down by Jimmy Corbin at the Jasper 12-yard line. Kurt Kaczynski making the most of his opportunity to carry the football for the Raiders.
They're going to call him down just inside the 15-yard line. A 42-yard run.
I know they were very high on Kaczynski as far as defense was concerned, being in the secondary, but he has played a whale of a game offensively, running and catching tonight.
He's definitely carried the Raiders thus far this evening.
Ball at the 14-yard line, full house tee. Mitch under center, takes the snap. Second man through Kaczynski. He gets driven down by Mark Crodel, and that's a textbook tackle. I know you like to teach tackling in the junior football league. Crodel got the guy around the waist, lifted, and drove the guy down.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. As he lifted and Kurt jumped at about the same time, that's something you don't want to do as a running back, to leave your feet like that. I can understand diving if you're at the end zone and try and get in the end zone, but you jump like that in the middle of the field, somebody's going to clean you up.
Second down for the Raiders. Mitch goes up the middle to Shane Ring. He gets up the middle into the open. He's down near the goal line at the 2 or 3 yard line. So Shane Ring will get the Raiders into scoring position, and the Raiders have forced the Wildcats to go with their goal line defense. A few substitutions here for Coach Joe Rowetter.
Good drive by the Raiders here, helped by the pass interference call early, but they're taking it right to him. Kurt Kaczynski busts out the 42-yard run. We're down inside to about the 1 yard line here.
Raiders trying to test that Wildcat defense. Split backfield for the Raiders. Southridge inside the 5 yard line. Mitch takes the snap, gives it up the middle to Shane Ring. He plunges forward as they look in from the side judge down near the sideline. He comes in, and it's a little bit short of a touchdown for the Raiders. We'll try it again.
You have second and inches here. Look for the Raiders just to go bread and butter here right now. Nothing fancy. Probably look for a straight ahead dive. Go to the fullback again, Andy Doherty. I wouldn't even look for any fakes. Just give it to the first dive man.
Second and 1 for Southridge. Stetter under center, takes the snap, gives it up the middle to Shane Ring. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Raiders. Ring on a 2-yard burst. And we are in a 1-point ball game now, pending the extra point to tie it up. With 8:10 to go here in the third. A great high school football game right here. And Shane Ring back to try to capitalize on the extra point. He's a perfect 2 for 2. Here's a snap. Kick is up by Shane. It's up and it's good, and we're tied at 14. Jasper Southridge will break. Come back to Alumni, as now the whistle's blowing a flag on the football field, so we'll suspend our break here for a second. Officials talking it over.
Not really indicating who it's going to be against. I can't see any indication from any of the players. Referees are standing right in the middle of both huddles, just kind of discussing the play.
Still in a conference call. They're out there talking. Still under advisement.
They're discussing it this long. I'm not sure they know what they just threw the flag for. They may wave this one off. Inadvertent flag.
That might be the case. It's an extra point situation. Now the official will make a
Offside Jasper.
offside Jasper. The Raiders will
Decline.
decline that. And we are tied at 21.
Decline it, yes. Never take points off the board.
Looks like the Raiders will take the points. Now they're going to bring Mitch Stetter onto the field. May go for the 2-point conversion.
I don't know. This is gutsy.
It's a half the distance.
Half
It's about
the
2.5
distance.
yards.
The old rule, the old adage is you never take points off the board, but
I guess they think they got the momentum.
well,
which,
that's
Call against Jasper. It is half the distance of the
the way they've been pounding up front.
yeah,
I mean,
that's true. You know, I mean,
Ring didn't have any opposition getting
Give-
into the end zone.
you got to give Coach Hanner credit. I mean, he's rolling the dice here. I mean, there's still a lot of time in this ball game. I doubt if this is going to decide the game right here, but both teams are moving it up and down the field.
21-20, we are not tied. The Raiders, after the penalty, will elect to go for the 2-point conversion. Half the distance on the extra point. They go left side, it's the right side of Shane Ring. He plunges forward, and the Wildcats stop him. And the Raiders took the points off the board, and the Wildcats hold defensively.
Raiders can't afford to get down right now. They took a gamble. You're a yard and a half out, on a 2-point conversion. The way we've been moving the ball, we just didn't get that crease. Jasper made a good stand right there. This game's not going to be decided by that
No.
play. I mean, both teams are moving the ball. It was a gamble. You take it. You didn't get it. You're still pumped up on the sideline. Our defense has got to come out and stop Nathan Small.
Well-
We've got to make Jasper go somewhere else besides Nathan Small.
Well, much like the call that Coach Brewer made, if they don't make it last week, the kids get some confidence
Right.
knowing their coaches believe in them,
That's
but
exactly
they do
right.
get it and they win the ball game. Much the same way with this. The Raiders had a nice drive going down the field.
Yeah.
They punch it in, and as you mentioned, the game will not be decided probably by the 1 point, so they decided to go for 2, and that time, as Coach Brewer mentioned in the pregame, sometimes you make it, sometimes you don't, and
Yeah.
they didn't that time, but we're in a 1-point game once again.
This game itself, if the game, regardless of how the game finishes out here, the Raiders are going to take a lot out of this game. Moral victories are one thing. Obviously, they're in the game right here, their lives right now. They think they can win. They're playing exceptionally well. But this is going to go a long way in this Raider team as they progress through the season, regardless of the rest of this ball game.
Josh Peter back deep along with Crodel and Joe Kress. Peter fields the ball at the 19, across the 20 to the 25 to the 30. Josh up the middle, breaks out in the open across the 40 to the 44-yard line. So Josh Peter, the sophomore, gives the Wildcats some excellent field position for Brad Eckerly and crew to work with 8:04 to go in the third.
They're going to start with good field position. Here again, the Raider defense, obviously you've got a key on Nathan Small. Here again, you can try and make Jasper go somewhere else if you can. If you've got to assign a linebacker, a safety, somebody, wherever Nathan Small is, you've got to go meet him right in the hole. But, that's tough to do. In Jasper's offense, they block that ISO sweep, pitch sweep, whatever you want to call it. They block it so many different ways, you really never know where they're coming from.
Eckerly under center, 2 tight ends. Brad takes the snap, pitch to Small. Made a nice catch of the pitch. Small tries to go right side, does, gets the corner, and Kaczynski ran him down at the 41-yard line of Southridge. As Small picked up a good gain, and Kaczynski probably made a touchdown-saving tackle the way Small gets that head of steam.
He got to the outside. He had one man to beat, and Kirk Kaczynski brought him down along the sideline. He had the sideline helping him out there on the angle. But good 15-yard run.
First and 10. Southridge on defense. Jasper moving the football. "42-yard line." Eckerly snaps his team down. Once again, toss sweep left side is Small. He's hit, breaks one tackle. Then they got him on the shoestring tackle on the left side, short gain.
Lyle McCollum, him in the backfield, just couldn't quite hang on. They brought him down gave him a 3-yard gain.
Ball at the 39. Clock ticking, 7:36 to go here in the third. 21-20, the Wildcats lead Southridge. Both teams had a close game last week, and it's in for another battle tonight for these two clubs. Corbin Off to the left side, double tight end alignment. Eckerly gets a snap. Isolation play to Small, right side. Busts out in the clear, gets it across the 35 to the 34. A flag down on the play.
Maybe a face mask on that. Looked like somebody had a hand up high. Looked like Nathan kind of jerked his helmet around a little bit.
And that's what it's going to be, a face mask against Southridge. Southridge football next Friday at Raider Field, a 7 o'clock PAC start against Shane Faust and the Pike Central Chargers.
We're finally at home for one.
The Raiders have a home game next week.
Home game.
Cats go on the road to Boonville, so Big 8 contest for them, and the Raiders, PAC affair.
Boonville's an improved ball club, from what I understand.
They played Heritage Hills a whale of a game and now have Castle tonight.
And Jasper next week?
Yes.
A good way to start the season.
Yes. Eckerly with the ball, takes a snap, isolation play, right side, Small, busted out to the outside. Once again, he's got a running lane before he's dropped. Cats threatening to score again as they pound the ball down the field. Corey Minke comes up, makes the stop for the Raiders. Ball now down at the 6.
First and goal for the Cats at the 6.
6:37 to go. The Wildcats lead by 1 here in the third quarter. Corbin splits off to the left side. Eye in the backfield from Eckerly. Eckerly, pitch, left side is Small. He tries to go right side, spins off one tackle and gets a short gain of 1 or 2. Harbison came up to apply the defense, as did Kurt Kaczynski. Small looks like one of those guys. It's tough to get a solid shot. They're hitting from all different angles, but it probably will take more to get him down to the turf.
He does a real good job of spinning. He gets that initial hit. He spins out of it. Raider defenders just they kept coming at him, held him to about a 3-yard gain. Inside the, call the 4-3-yard line here. But here again, Nathan Small definitely the workhorse this evening.
2nd and 3. Here's a snap. They go to Small up the middle. He pounds into the end zone, or short, and they do give him the mark. He's into the end zone. Cats get in, and Small plunges in.
Showing Nathan Small for 23 carries for 221 yards thus far.
And it's 27-20. And Craig onto the field for the extra point. Here's a snap, and the kick is a short one, and it's good. Jason Craig gets the extra point kick. It's 27-20. Or 28-20, I should say. 28-20. The Raiders now down by 8 with 5:40 to go here in the third. So the Cats put together the drive. Southridge answered it the last time, and this is a great contest.
Back and forth ball game. Both teams taking their best shots here. You just basically a slugfest at this point of the game. It's just a question of which one flinches first. But the Raiders just got to keep plugging away, taking it down the field.
And Cats will once again kick it off to Southridge. Once again, Treadway back deep. Also, Kaczynski as well. Weil comes back onto the field after getting the kicking shoe on. Gets the ball from the official at the 40, and he'll kick it off. Shane Ring also back deep. Craig Harbison as well. Weil got into the first kick he had tonight, but has kicked the ball shorter last couple of times. He angles it off. Kaczynski will have a shot to field it, bobbles it, picks it back up, tries to get to the sideline, breaks one tackle before they drill him to the ground at the 25-yard line. Alex Bonert came up to make a nice play. Alex, good athlete. Little special teams action right there.
Kurt, a little slow getting up there. I don't know if he's probably a tired young man right now. He's definitely been the plow horse for the Raiders this evening, but He's getting back into the huddle. He's okay. Nope, he's going to the sideline.
Ball at the 24, 1st and 10. Schilling, the tight end, right side pun. The tight end near side, Shane Ring in the slot for Mitch Stetter. Pitch to Treadway, goes right, will cut it back up the middle, still on his feet, gets a short gain. Wildcats converge in a hurry. Danny Mitchell up there.
Not a big gain there by the freshman, but a good read, a cut. It was jammed up outside. He planted his foot. He cut it back to the inside.
PC Hettinger in on the stop as well. It'll be 2nd down and 9 for Southridge. 5:10 to go in the 3rd quarter here at Alumni Stadium. Kurt Kuksell and Joe Monday here on WBDC Sports. Raiders come up to the football. Mitch Stetter wants a timeout. We'll do the same. Timeout, Southridge, 28-20. The Southridge engaged in a 2nd and 9 situation. Mitch takes the snap. We'll give it to Treadway. Goes right side. Gets the corner all the way out to the 38-yard line. A little burst of speed, and he's got the 1st down.
Here again, Smurf's got the fresh legs right now, and it's probably somebody Jasper had not counted on. They don't know a whole lot about this young man. He's got some good speed. He's got good quickness. He busted it to the outside. They're probably looking to the first man there, and he got to the outside, caught the 37-yard line.
4:46 to go in the 3rd. 28-20. The Wildcats on top. Ball at the 37. Now Mitch Stetter over talking to Coach Hanner, and they want some different substitutions onto the field.
They're going to have to hurry. We got 10 seconds on the play clock.
They sprint in the line of scrimmage now with 7. Mitch quickly at the line of scrimmage, takes the snap. We'll give it up the middle to Shane Ring. He carries about 6 Wildcat defenders to the 45. A gain of 8 on the play.
That Raider offensive line is doing a great job getting that initial surge here. Shane Ring pushing the pile here again. You're seeing Smurf still in there. Looks like Kurt Kaczynski coming back into the play here. Smurf will be probably going back out. Yes, he does.
2nd and 2 now at the 46, they say. Stetter brings his team up the line of scrimmage. Brad punted, Schilling, the 2 tight ends, back to the full house tee. Stetter, option right side, high pitch. Kaczynski pulls it down. He gets the right side, and he carries the football all the way down to the Wildcat 45.
10-yard run takes Kaczynski up to about 86 yards on 11 carries. Definitely the workhorse. He has 5 catches for the 68 yards from the first half. Playing a big game tonight.
Kaczynski probably not pleased with the quarterback to pitch man distance there, because that pitch was high and he didn't have much time to react. Made a nice catch. But it worked as far as the run was concerned. Ball at the Jasper 45, full house backfield. Here's a snap by the center. Mitch gives it off the ring. He's wrapped up in the backfield by PC Hettinger.
Not much room. Shane Ring did no sooner got the ball and he was wrapped up. They got him for about a 4-yard loss. Raiders 2nd and 14 here. We're on the Jasper 49-yard line. Raiders may look to go up top here. We're in 4-down territory, so there's still no need to panic.
2nd and 14, 3:24 to go in the 3rd quarter. Great game here from Alumni Stadium. Slot to the right side. Mitch, play action. The lefty fires it down the far sideline for Schilling. He caught the ball at the 25-yard line. He's ripped out of bounds at the 24. Good toss by Mitch Stetter, and Schilling, little flag route from that tight end spot, got open and hauled it in.
They're going to mark him out at about the 23-yard line, it looks like. So great play through that flag route. Just led him to the sideline. Great catch. Great toss.
Both teams putting on those boxing gloves and going at it. Ball at the 24, Mitch. Up the middle of Shane Ring. He gets in the open field, and he carries the ball inside the 15 to about the 14 or 13. What a play by the Raider offensive line on the right side. That hole was huge.
Giving him that first crease, he rips off about an 8-yard gain. Jasper's going to take timeout.
Timeout on the field, 2:53 to go in the 3rd, 28-20. Cats on top, Raiders driving. Back after this.
Out in the fields working this fall, take a few moments to protect one of our country's most valuable resources, the American farmer. When operating farm machinery, be sure to give utility poles and guy wires plenty of clearance. And look out for overhead lines when moving conveyors and other large equipment. Your REMC wishes you a productive and safe harvest this year. A message from your REC, a member of the Hoosier Energy Power Network.
Building a brighter future, Jubilar Developments. We're proudly serving your community. Family and friends, a winning team. Locally owned, built on quality. Jubilar, the name to depend on. Building a brighter future, Jubilar Development.
See Mock Supply in Jasper for residential, commercial, and industrial plumbing and heating supplies. They specialize in steam and hot water equipment. Mock Supply, 1504 South Meridian Road, phone 482-3123.
Back to Alumni. Side gets the first down. That's all he was after. Went to the ground, and Raiders will move the chains with 2:45 to go here in the third at Alumni. Southridge down 28-20.
They're going to measure.
And the veteran crew, Aaron Mitchell, Bernie Vogler, and Mike Seibert come across the field. And he is going to be about 2 inches short, it looks like. I thought he had it.
Yeah.
Werner Bender over there tonight for Mitch on the chain gang. Wow.
So third and inches. And this is here again. Just give it the straight dive to the fullback. You know, get that line surge. Get your first down here.
3rd and 1 at the 14. Very short one. Mitch looks over the defense, takes a snap. Will give
Fumble.
it, puts the ball on the football field, and the Wildcats got it. McComish picks up the fumble.
Simple dive play, just whether it was a bad handoff, couldn't really get a good look at it, but the ball's on the floor. And, you know, Jasper, big break for the Wildcats, picking up the fumble recovery on about the 13-yard line.
Cats will take back over with 2:23 to go. The Cats dodge a serious bullet right there. Eckerly brings his offensive team back onto the gridiron. Raiders coughed up literally a opportunity to score points there. Small and McComish once again join Bradley in the backfield. Eckerly under center takes a snap. He will run the quarterback sneak, and he is stopped and driven back. McCollum and also Kaczynski get in there on the stop.
A very late flag on the play. I don't know if he just threw it for a mark. The back judge threw the flag.
Let's see what happens. Nobody was wrestled to the ground
Face
after the
mask.
play. Face mask against the Raiders.
Really, they stopped Brad Eckerly for a short gain on the play. Then someone inadvertently grabs a face mask. You don't know, but bad break, another bad break for the Raiders.
It's against Southridge, and it's a 15-yarder. Goes out to the 31-yard line, so Eckerly gets some room to work his offensive unit. Up in camp, the tight end left side. Corbin the slot as well. The snap, Eckerly gives it to Small. He tries to go right side, turns the corner, gets all the way out to the 41-yard line on another good run by Nathan Small. Minky comes up on the stop, also Heath Siddons, to try to run that locomotive down.
You know, at this point, they may want to try and strip the ball away from Nathan. Once you've got somebody with his hands on the man, you've got somebody in the vicinity, if you could get a chance to get an arm in there and rip the ball away, you know, it's worth the gamble at this point, but obviously you're going to make sure that somebody's got him wrapped up and bringing him down.
1st and 10. Ball at the 42-yard line. Double Tight end, slot to the left side. Eckerly gets the ball, pitch, right side, Small. Outside, now back up the middle. Carries a couple of Raider defenders, still on his feet,
Fumble.
bounces off. Ball loose in the field, the Raiders look like they've got it. Small battling for extra yardage, weaves in and out of traffic.
I think Jasper picked it back up.
And yes, they did. A couple of offensive linemen, looked like P.C. Hedinger got up there. That's a good effort by Small, and it
Yeah,
almost
makes a
cost
good
him
cut.
as it usually does and try to get that extra yardage, but there's no argument from the Jasper coaches on extra effort.
Same thing happened on Brad Pund earlier when he was fighting for the extra yardage. The ball gets stripped. I think Nathan Small had somebody come up from behind him and get a hand on the ball and just knocked it away, and fortunate break for the Wildcats. They retained possession.
1:18 to go in the third. They bring the chains onto the football field once again. About a half yard short here. For the Cats. And the ball's into Raider territory at the 49-yard line. Second and inches. Eckerly made his quarterback sneak here. Not risk the handoff. Here it is. He will pop pass in the middle. Up a camp ball nearly picked off by Kaczynski.
You know, you got second and short. You know, there's your chance to try and catch somebody sleeping, I guess. But you can always come back here on third and short, pick up the first down on the quarterback sneak of the dive, and even on fourth down if you really needed to. But, you know, at that point, you're give it a pop, see what happens.
Tried to hit up and camp. A little pass across the middle. Third and short once again. Ball at the Southridge 49. Eye in the backfield. The snap. The give the Small up the middle. He stopped and ball loose in the field, and the Raiders got it. They stopped Small at the line of scrimmage. It was going to be close even on the first down, but the Raiders pick it up as Heath Siddons recovers the fumble. They had him stop behind the line of scrimmage, and the rest of the guys came in and did the strip job.
He was still up. He was still churning, trying to drive. His knees weren't down. Did a great job. Popped that ball loose. Raiders get the break they needed.
Ball now at the Jasper 49, so the ball moved about a yard on either side of the 50 on that play. This is a great ball game.
Fantastic game. This is a game the fans can sit back and enjoy. You know, regardless of the outcome, both teams are going to walk away from this one feeling good about themselves. Probably more so on the Southridge sideline right now.
Split backfield. The Raiders get a break. They get the ball back. Stetter rolls out, busted play. He'll have to eat the ball. He turns a corner, still on his feet, out to the 43-yard line. Mitch made a lot out of nothing there. And once again, as quarterbacks are always told, if the play is broken, take the ball through the hole that the play was intended for.
Yeah. Yeah, he did the right thing. I don't know, couldn't really tell who was supposed to go to. He turned, he wasn't there. Somebody made a wrong move. Whatever happened, he made a good gain out of nothing.
Under 30 seconds to play in the third. Ball resting at the 42-yard line of Jasper. Southridge, receiver to the right side. Stetter up the middle to Shane Ring. He squirts across the 40 to the 37, a gain of 4 or 5 on the play, depending on the mark, as there is a stoppage of play with 19.8 seconds to go to move the chains. First and 10, Southridge.
Raiders may just stay in their huddle here, just let the clock run out. Looks like that's what they're going to do here.
The third quarter winding down here at Alumni Stadium, 28-20. The Raiders trail the Jasper Wildcats. Will break, come back to Alumni for the fourth quarter after this. Kurt Gooksell and Joe Monday back for the fourth quarter of this ball game. A tight game, 28-20. Southridge had an opportunity to score late in the third quarter and coughed it up. Now the Cats turn the ball back over to Southridge as they mounted a drive.
Both teams making critical turnovers at inopportune times. It's just a question of who can take advantage of them at this point of the ball game. Southridge has got the ball first down and 10 from the Jasper 38-yard line, looking to keep a drive alive.
First and 10 at the 38. Wildcats on defense. Raiders with a full house backfield. Double tight end, Pund and Schilling. Mitch, option left side, a short pitch to Kaczynski. Goes left side, strung out, cuts it right back up the middle. Dives, gets all he could get as he goes down to the 36 or 37-yard line.
He kept going to the outside. Jasper did a good job stringing along. We're going no huddle here right now, Kurt.
They did that 4 or 5 times up at Paoli. Snapped right to the line of scrimmage. Stetter back up with a full house backfield. Here's a snap. Stetter, deep handoff. Kaczynski goes right. Now cuts it back up the middle over his tackle. Still on his feet. Breaks one tackle and finally is dropped down near the 25.
Great cut by Kurt Kaczynski. Gain of 12.
Zach Dawkins, Woolridge on the stop for the Wildcats.
No huddle, not giving Jasper time to adjust their defense.
Double tight, full house backfield once again. Just inside the fourth quarter here at Alumni. Mitch, they try to get the corner with Kaczynski on the pitch. Goes outside, he is wrapped up. He was dancing right there, and Jimmy Corbin came up to level it.
Now, we had a man out front. We had one lead blocker. Couldn't get that contained man for Jasper, stopping for a short gain of about 2.
28-20, 10:57 to go in the ball game. Southridge down by 8, but on the drive at the Wildcat 24. Kaczynski, Doherty, and Ring line up right behind Mitch Stetter in the full house backfield. Mitch, play action. The lefty flushed out, goes off to his right, still has plenty of time, fires it down the sideline, out of bounds onto the track.
That was a good play by Mitch. There was absolutely nothing there. Throw the ball away, come back on 3rd and long. Great read. You know, rather than trying to force it into trouble, he just threw the ball away.
3rd and 9.
You know, we don't have to try and pick it all up here on one play. If we can get half of it here, go for it on 4th down.
They split Kaczynski and Schilling off to the near side. Split backfield. Mitch, short drop. Screen pass to Kaczynski. He's got the ball. He's got some running room. Breaks out in the open before Small and Joe Kress come up to make the stop. He's short of the 1st down, but as Joe mentioned, 3 or 4 at a time. Ball goes down to the 15 or 16.
Called a gain of 7. It's going to be 4th and about 1.
Mitch just reared up and threw it right to Kaczynski in a very dangerous pass, but Kaczynski was able to haul it in.
And there was a man right on Mitch who wrapped him up, and he's lucky to get it away.
Mitch takes the snap. We'll give it up the middle to Doherty, it looks like, and he's got the 1st down yardage.
Just a straight belly play, straight dive.
Kaczynski, excuse me.
Again. Yes, sir.
25 instead of 45. PC Hettinger gets the stop. Raiders operating that no huddle. 1st down and 10 at the 13-yard line of Jasper. Southridge threatening. Full house backfield once again. Stetter looks over the defense, takes the snap. 2nd man through, Ring. Flag on the football field. Shane breaks out down near the 5-yard line, but that play will probably come back.
Great run by Shane Ring. Procedure call.
Ring broke through the initial line and got out and was dropped finally as he pounded down inside the Wildcat 5.
Those are the mistakes you don't need down here in the red zone. You work so hard to get those yards. You don't want to give them back up this deep into the Jasper territory, but Raiders are going to lose a couple here, and they got to come back. So the 1st down going to be about 1st and 15.
Motion against Southridge.
28-20, motion against the Raiders. 5-yard penalty, 1st and 15 at the 18. 9:43 to go in the contest.
Treadway's back in the game.
Treadway and Doherty in the backfield. They pitch it to Treadway, goes left, turns the corner, now cuts it back up the 10. He goes down to the 9, still on his feet, and he goes all the way down to the 6-yard line. He bounced off one tackler and then got a few more.
Fantastic run by the freshman, gain of about 12. He may have got a stinger on this. He's looking a little woozy over there.
Flag down on the football field indications a dead ball foul, maybe after the whistle.
He's down. They're looking him over. They've got him laying on the field and sideline.
A couple officials gather down near the 8-yard line. Luke Werner, the defensive captain for the Cats, it looks like going to see what the call is, and
Late hit.
will be against the Cats, it looks like.
Unsportsmanlike.
Against the Wildcats. 9:23 to go. Hang on at home. What a great contest.
Dead ball foul and sportsmanlike conduct to call against Jasper.
Should take it half the distance.
Didn't look like it was entirely late, but anything after the whistle on player safety, they do throw the flag, and Treadway still down across the way, and more or less probably a welcome to varsity football. I don't think he's been hit like that in a freshman or JV contest, but that was a great run, and he met the initial tackler and then bounced off.
That's exactly right. He bounced off that initial hit and got to the outside, kept driving. He lowered that shoulder and looked like somebody just hit him right on the, right just dead on that second hit and drove him right to the ground. I still couldn't tell what what the penalty was on. But he's up, he's walking, he looks like he's okay. Limping a little bit, but he's going to be fine.
The credit to the Raiders, not many people run that sweep against Joe Roller's defense staff through the years. They run that rover back or a strong safety, and they usually have that play defended very well, but the Raiders kind of having their way on that quick pitch.
Just quick pitch it to the outside, trying to get the outside. Looked like we had three lead blockers out there in front of Jeremiah. Did a good job. We're down here 3rd and 1 from the, call it the 5-yard line, 6-yard line.
Raiders knocking at the door, 28-20 with 9:23 to go.
Looks like we're inside the 5, call it the 4-yard line.
Second and 1 at the 4.
The officials are still discussing. I don't know if they're going to. Be first down, third down. Third down.
Third down. We're just going by what the officials say. We're going with a second and 1. Now it's 3rd and 1. Ball down at the 4-yard line. Nevertheless, Raiders re-huddle up.
Coach Hanner's still trying to get an explanation on the from second to third down. Hopefully it won't matter.
Stetter under center, takes the snap, gives it up the middle to Kaczynski,
Touchdown.
plunges forward, touchdown Raiders. Kurt Kaczynski into the end zone. 28-26.
Here's where you go for the 2 now. Try and tie this thing back up. 9:19 to go in the 4th quarter. Here again, both teams just keep coming back on each other. They won't die. They won't go away.
Excellent.
Excellent ball game. There's no doubt about it. This is the best Jasper Southridge game, Kurt, I've seen in a long, long time.
2-point conversion time to try to tie it up. Stetter with a full house T backfield. Mitch takes a snap. Mix up in the backfield. Stetter gives it to Kaczynski, and he is nailed. The extra point is foiled by a botched play, and Brad Hanner is not happy.
He's not happy. He's looking at Mitch. I don't know what happened, but there, on a busted play, last time it happened, Mitch takes it, just gets what he can, and he kept looking for somebody. Coach Hanner's talking to, can't really tell the number here, but he is not happy. That's the kind of situation. You can't afford those kind of breakdowns in these situations. This is, game's on the line here. Still 9:19 to go. There's going to be some more scores here yet. We're only 2 down. We're still okay.
28-26, 9:19 to go. Both teams answering offensively, and the ulcers starting to mount on the defensive staffs of both teams after the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, this is what high school football is about. These are county rivalries, just going tooth and nail, just getting after each other. Both teams probably gaining a lot of respect for one another right now.
Well, there's no reason why it shouldn't be like this.
That's exactly right.
I mean, both schools should have good football.
Yep. I agree. This is fantastic.
Number 44 for Southridge, Shane Ring with the football back.
Ring will kick it off at the 40. Josh Peter, Mark Crodel, and Joe Kress back deep once again.
How many punts have we seen this evening? Not many.
Not many. Cartwright had the line drive earlier in the game, and Heath Siddons had 1 or 2, and that's been about it. Ring, the kick, drives the line drive. Crodel will have to field this one for the Wildcats across the 20 to the 25 to 30. He's up the middle and down near the 42-yard line. So the Cats start in decent field position with 9:13 to go, 28-26, and they will probably try to pound small up the middle or to the outside, if you will.
They're going to mark him down at about the 37-yard line. Still good field position for Jasper to start here with 9:13, but you're right, Kurt. the clock is their ally right now. They've got the lead. They want to keep that clock moving, look for Jasper to keep it on the ground. But, of course, you keep it on the ground with Nathan Small might be one play.
He busted out for a 41-yarder earlier to score. Corbin splits off to the right side, eye in the backfield. McComish and Small dot that eye. Here's the pitch, right side to Small. Small runs up the line of scrimmage and gets good yardage out across the 45 to the 46, about a 9-yard gain.
Here again, nothing fancy. They just go right back to their bread and butter that's worked for them all these many years. They're going to go to it. You know it's coming.
That's some north and south running, too. He's getting his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. It's not try to slip by your side there.
He's going to have both hands on that football right now. I'm sure he was told on the sideline to cover that football up once he gets in traffic. The Raider defense has got to try and come up with a strip right now.
8:36 to go in the contest. Second down and short for the Wildcats. Eckerly will give it up the middle to McComish. He gets first down yardage, it looks like, and he gets a rare carry and gets the job done. 28-26.
Well, here again, the fullback in the Jasper offense, these young men know when they come up, if they're going to be playing fullback, their job is lead blocker.
McComish earlier in the grades was a fullback, then went to the line a little bit, and that's good training for a fullback spot. And now it's 1st and 10 at the 49. Two tight ends, Mitchell and up in right side. Eckerly takes the snap. Small, left side, breaks one tackle. Now 3 Raiders try to corral him, and he gets across the 47 to about the 46 of Southridge with 7:50 and counting to go in this contest.
There again, the Raiders had him stood up. They're trying to rip the ball away. Nathan did a good job covering the ball up there, not allowing that to happen. A lot of times you may start to see the referees blow a quick whistle. Once he gets him stood up, his forward progress isn't going anywhere. They're going to probably blow a quick whistle to try and keep the ball from getting stripped away. Because both teams are trying it right now.
Cats trying to get into the end zone and give him some breathing room. Corbin splits off to the right side. Eckerly snaps his team down to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback sneak up the middle. Eckerly gets by the initial line of scrimmage, and then the linebackers come in to finish him off as Heath Siddons comes up to stop as well.
Give him a game of about 4. Here again, that's probably the same game. He's just going up there. He's reading something that's going to, he picked up a quick 4 yards, put him in 3rd and about 2.
6:54 to go. Cats looking for that drive that chews up a lot of clock. Raiders trying to get the ball back and make a key defensive stop. 3rd and short once again from the 43. Here's the snap. Eckerly, straight handoff to Small, gets across the 40. Ball loose in the football field, and the Raiders got it. Greg Harbison has picked up the garbage as Small put it on the ground after another gain where he tries to get more yardage.
Came up behind him. Somebody popped it away from him from the backside. That's what we needed.
Raiders got the football back.
Here again, we got 6:34 to go. We're going to start on our own 33-yard line. What a ball game. We've said how many times, Kurt?
Unbelievable. Raiders back on the football field. Stetter under center. He's got the full house backfield alignment. Here's the snap. They give it up the middle of the Shane ring. He's out in the open, the 40. All the way across the 45 to the 47. Southridge trails 28-26. 6:27 to go.
Raiders may be thinking here, still 6:27, the clock stops, the chain's moving. They may go back to the no huddle here soon.
Stetter gets his team to the line of scrimmage. Schilling and Pun, the 2 tight ends. Full house behind Stetter. Mitch, a long count at the line of scrimmage, gets under center, takes the snap, goes to Doherty left side, and he gets nothing.
Maybe give him a short gain.
Or, excuse me, Kaczynski, 25
yes.
again.
They may give him 1 yard.
Raiders pull within 2, then could not capitalize on the 2-point conversion a couple of minutes ago with 9:19 to go in the 4th, and they get new life after the fumble by Nathan Small, as Small was carrying the Cats down the field once again. Raiders come to the line of scrimmage for a 2nd and 9 at the 48. Stetter rolls out left side. He's on a keeper. He tries to get the corner. He's knocked out of bounds by Jimmy Corbin into the Raider bench across the way at about the midfield stripe. He gets 2 at the most. We'll stop the clock at 5:28.
He got to the outside. He got to the corner anyway. Took it out of bounds. Probably gave him a gain of 1. It's going to be 3rd and long. Call it 7. Call it maybe 8.
Keeping on. It's like it's an update on the board. They just keep on deciding where the football is going to be marked. 3rd and 8 at the 49-yard line. Stetter, quick pitch to Kaczynski. Cuts up the middle. He's got running room, leaps and jumps, and he is finally dropped at the 42-yard line. A gain of about 7. He's going to be about a yard short, depending on the mark.
I think he may have gotten it here, Kurt. I think that last jump's going to give him the first down. Yes, it does.
It moves the chains. I have never seen a back and a group of backs try to go outside and cut it back up the middle like the Raiders are doing tonight. We haven't really seen much of that. Usually it's just diving into the line of scrimmage,
right.
But this is...
They're looking for those the tacklers coming. They're trying to cut away.
I think it's because Kaczynski's in the backfield, too. A little bit more quickness. Full house backfield, 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Ring, right side. He gets into the Wildcat linebacking crew, and he's down to the 38, gain of about 4, maybe 37. Cats are not doing a good job against the run tonight. I'd like to see the numbers as we close down the ball game, but it's a 2nd and 4, gain of 6 on the play.
Definitely picked up the intensity here in our running game the second half.
Full house backfield, double tight 4. Stetter, pitch left side. Kaczynski tries to get the corner. He's knocked out of bounds. Cats do a nice job of coming up on the play. Brad Eckerly down with some serious defense when the game's on the line here. Quarterback going both ways here.
He kept trying to go to the outside. Probably best bet would have been to cut it back inside. The lineman was trying to kick him out, and Kurt just kept trying to go outside. They're going to get him for a loss on that play. Call it back to the 40, it looks like. Is there a flag down? It looks like they're discussing something. No.
They flip the down marker to 3rd across the way. 3rd and 8, ball at the 40. 4:23 to go. The clock is back moving. Big play for Southridge and a big play for the Wildcat defense as well. Full house backfield, double tight end for Stetter, the junior quarterback. Fakes the handoff. He's on the keeper. Goes left side. He's not going to get much yardage there. Knocked out of bounds after a gain of 2 or 3, but 4 down territory, obviously, in this situation.
Not too sure Coach Hanner wasn't telling him to cut it up inside that time instead of going for the sideline. But, we come back, 4th down. Probably going to be about 4th and 5.
Gets out of bounds. If he does go outside, gives him a chance to talk to Coach Hanner. Timeout on the football field. We'll take one as well. 28-26. We're back after this. The critical play of the night. 4th and 5 at the Jasper 38. Southridge calls the timeout, and they will have to negotiate this play.
You talk pass or run here, Kurt. Kurt Kaczynski's been doing a great job on the ground here in the second half, showing him for 117 yards on 20 carries. It's just a question, where do you go right now? Who do you want? Are you going to put it up in the air? Or are you going to keep it on the ground?
That's Coach Hanner's decision. I'm glad I'm not making it.
I agree.
And, it's not much is said about a defensive type of call in this situation as well. The defensive coaches have to have what they want to do because a broken coverage or something like this, or a blitzing linebacker not in the right place could be dangerous to their scheme, too.
You may see him try and float Kaczynski out to the flat, out of the backfield or something, although he's lined out split left.
Pun now goes
tight end on the right
to the tight end spot right side. Kaczynski to the left. Twin backfield for the Raiders on this 4th and 5 for the 38. Mitch rolls out left, rolls out. Still with the football, He's scrambling. He'll try to reverse his field. He's got some running room, but he's going to be strung out and out of bounds near the 40-yard line. The Raiders do not come up in the 4th down situation as Stetter ran out of real estate and could not do anything with the football.
Just nobody was open there. Credit the Jasper defense. But Mitch probably would have been better served just to put the ball up in the air, hope for a pass interference call. Of course, at that point, you're scrambling around. You probably got a lineman downfield. If he throws the ball, it's probably going to come back anyway. But unfortunate break for the Raiders.
28-26, a two-point ball game. The Cats now with the football at the 40-yard line.
Now the Raiders have definitely got to try and strip. There's no second. There's no second guessing now. 3:54. You've got to have the ball. Jasper's not going to put it up here. They're going to run.
Small in the eye. Eckerly, the count. Small up the middle. Covers that ball, Larry Zonka style, across the 45 to about the 47, where his head was down and the inside elbow up with both hands on the ball.
He's fumbled it twice here down the stretch, and he's definitely covering the ball up here now.
6 for Nathan here. 3:33 to go. What a contest. 28-26.
Clock running, 3:24 here. We cannot allow the first down here, no more than one first down here, or we're not going to get the ball back.
Once again, double tight end. Corbin out to the right side. Up the middle to Small, covers the football, gets to the midfield stripe, and 8 Raiders come in to make the tackle, but that will be enough to move the chains.
I'm showing Nathan Small with 29 carries for 268 yards. Unbelievable.
3:04 to go. Ball at the 49. 2:55 to go. Corbett off to the right side. He's merely out there to just stand around here. They're giving the ball to McComish, right side. He twists, turns, and a couple of Raiders try to strip, but Matt holds on to the football.
That's the name of the game right now. You've got to try and get the ball away from him. Whoever's making the tackle, if somebody stands him up, you just got to try and get an arm in there and rip it out. Nothing fancy.
Second and 8 at the 46. 2:05 to go in the ball game. Cats on a little bit of a march here, trying to eat clock. They give it to Small. Small covers the ball, jumps over a defender, turns the corner, gets down to the 34-yard line. Another big gain by Small. He moves the chains, and he once again gets hit pretty hard, but bounces right back up.
Call it the 33-yard line. First down. The Raiders, here again, that's minute 55 here to go. You've definitely got to gamble now. Somebody's got to blitz, try and bust up the handoff between the quarterback and the running back. That's about all we can hope for right now.
Ball at the 33. McComish and Small in that eye. Double tight. Eckerly straight up the middle to Small. Covers the football. And he's dropped. That's Luke Werner in the ball game. Small got the play off. Werner carried the football. Luke Werner.
Timeout Raiders.
Timeout Southridge on the football field. We'll keep it right here with the minute 49 to go. Just when you think Small's going to be back there, they sub in Luke Werner a little bit, and he carries the football. A little fresh legs maybe at the tailback spot, but he's been on the defensive side of the ball tonight. So the Raiders call a timeout. They need the ball desperately back here as the ball is on the 29-yard line with $1:49 to play. Nobody leaving this ballpark tonight.
Well, this has been, a great ball game. Both sides of the field, the fans, getting excited. Their team scores. Defense comes out. You get a break, a fumble here or there. 28-26, assuming Jasper doesn't get another score on the board here. It's been a fantastic game.
You're right, because you get the grumblings on both sides of the field. Should this game continue? And it should. I mean that's just preposterous that anybody on both sides would say this game should not continue.
Right.
And both sides are basing that on recent games and the score, but here's a reason why this game should never be broken up.
This is why you keep it. That's exactly right. Even if it's one game out of every 10 years, we've got a chance to be competitive and be in the ball game. This is why you play.
2nd and 6 at the 29. Here's the snap. Small back into the game. Once again, he lowers his shoulder and hunches over the football and takes it down to the 24-yard line with 1:40 to go.
Number 24 on the tackle, Greg Hunter.
they're going to let the clock run down every time down. That clock's going to click down. If they snap the ball before the 5-second mark every time, I'd be surprised. Minute 26 to go. They can. They're not concerned about scoring anymore right now. They just want to cover the football up. Get 2 or 3 yards, whatever it is, and just go down. Let the clock run out.
Mitchell and Uppenkamp, the two tight ends, once again. Eckerly sets his team in the eye. They give it to Small. He breaks the tackle on the shoelace and then plunges forward out of the 20. And they reset the clock to 25. A minute 4, though, in the game clock. They'll move the chains.
Raiders had a good hit on him right there. Right after he got the ball, had a chance possibly to bust it loose, but Nathan did a great job holding on. I show Nathan Small 32 carries for 290 yards. 55 seconds ago.
They'll run this play, and they'll sit in the huddle the next play. I guarantee it.
Yep.
1st and 10 at the 44. Eckerly under center.
Probably take a knee.
Takes the snap up the middle to McComish. He plunges forward, gets down to the 17 with 35 seconds to go. Play clock's still dead right now.
Now right here, probably will just take a knee. Here again, that's a clock.
Whistle down on the football field. Not a delay of game because there were 2 seconds left to go in the play clock.
Illegal formation.
Hand behind the head.
Behind the head, I'm not sure.
We'll get the indication. Move the football back with 6.5 seconds to go.
Southridge is going to come out of this ball game. They're going to be feeling great about this game. It's a hard loss. It's a gut-wrenching loss. You were in this ball game, but the Raiders have nothing to be ashamed of in this game. Jasper, tip of the hat to Jasper. They held on. They came out, won the ball game, did what they had to do.
6 seconds to go in the game. The Wildcats put a safety back. Corbin, they'll just kneel on the ball. Corbin way behind the line of scrimmage as McComish and Warner bunch up behind Bradley, Eckerly, and as Joe mentioned, he'll just take the snap and go right to a knee. He takes the knee, and this ball game is over. A 28-26 slugfest between Jasper and Southridge as the Raiders were trying to pick up their first victory since 1983 over the Wildcats, and the two teams meet at the middle of the field. Coach Hanner and Coach Brewer will go out and talk about this ball game as the two teams talk about it at the center of the football field. The Cats and Raiders involved in a good old-fashioned football game tonight. The final 28-26 in favor of the Jasper Wildcats. We'll take this break, come back to Alumni Stadium after this.